In this video, I'm going to be going over the difference between our mind and our intuition. Yo, what is good, everybody? It's your boy Noah, back again with another YouTube video. Thank you guys so much for tuning in to today's video. If you are new to my channel, welcome. I help people awaken to their true abilities through wellness and spirituality. In today's video, I'm actually going to be going over the difference between our mind and our intuition. You see, our mind is very deceptive. There are certain things that it tells us that we don't necessarily need to hear, right? If we are thinking too much, this is associated with our mind. Our mind likes to play games on us, There are certain things that it says that, are just thoughts, and everything that it says is a thought, but certain things that we say can actually be mixed up with what we think is our intuition, but the big difference between our mind and our intuition is that our intuition, it's a feeling, right? It's something that we know is true. Our mind is gonna, tell us things that we don't necessarily need to hear. Like, oh, maybe you shouldn't do this, maybe you shouldn't do that, right? Whereas our intuition is going to tell us what we need to do. It speaks in feelings, right? It speaks in frequency, it's a feeling that we have. We don't necessarily hear words when our intuition is speaking to us. Whereas when we listen to our mind, right, we are listening to a lot of words. Now that is the biggest difference between our mind and our intuition. And it is something that can actually help you along your journey. Understanding the difference between our mind and our intuition can be huge in terms of our life as well as the manifestation process, right? If we're trying to manifest our dream life, like all of us are. So that is why it is important to understand the differences between our mind and our intuition, right? Like I said before, our mind speaks in words. There are certain times where if you're talking to someone and your mind wants you to say something, right? It'll be like, oh, say this, or it'll just say something that you should say. And oftentimes we choose to listen to our mind instead of our intuition. And it's not our fault because we think that our mind is a part of our intuition. It's something that we think that we should follow. And sometimes we listen to our mind a lot more heavily than we listen to our intuition. Our mind craves comfortability. Our mind wants us to be comfortable, right? Our mind never wants to push us out of our comfort zone. That is another key difference between our mind and our intuition, is that our mind never wants to do something that's uncomfortable for us. But something that we have to realize is that we have to do things that are uncomfortable in our lives in order for us to grow, right? That's part of the process. We have to be comfortable with being uncomfortable, if that makes sense. And something that you'll notice about your intuition is that it'll want you to do challenging things. Sometimes you'll have a feeling, right? It'll be a feeling of something that you think that you should do, but your mind will be like, oh no, don't do that, right? Like, you shouldn't, don't take that cold shower this morning, right? That's something that my mind tells me a lot. But, so this is the difference between our mind and our intuition, right? Our intuition is always pushing us to grow because it wants us to manifest that dream life that we want. And how do we manifest that dream life? We have to go through uncomfortable situations. You know, we have to do certain things that make us feel uncomfortable in order to grow. You know, if you want to get a six-pack of abs, you know what I mean, it's not going to take overnight. It's going to take a while. And it's going to be hard, you know what I mean? It's going to be uncomfortable sometimes. There's some times where you're going to be working out and you're going to be like, damn, I don't want to do this. But that is how we achieve the bodies that we want to. You know, if we want to work on our physical body, it takes work, you know what I'm saying? It's not going to happen overnight. And our mind is always going to tell us not to work out, right? Because it's comfortable with not working out. It's comfortable sitting around. Whereas our intuition is going to always try to push us to do something that we don't want to do. And I'm not talking about anything bad. You know, I'm just saying our intuition is going to push us to do things that we have to in order to grow. So, like, you know, like working out, or, you know, maybe saying something, you know, maybe apologizing to a friend who you don't think deserves an apology, but your intuition knows that they do. You know what I mean? Just little things like this that might be uncomfortable at first, but in the long term, it's going to benefit you. Right? And that's the main difference between our mind and our intuition. Right? Our mind is associated with our ego. You know, our ego has a certain perfect image of who we are. And so it's always going to want to be right. You know, our mind's always going to want to tell us what we think is right, to what is, you know, it's a very intoxicating feeling because everybody wants to feel right, you know, but that's part of the mind. It's only our mind that wants to be right. And, you know, if you want tips on how to kind of limit some of the thoughts that are actually in your head, practicing stillness has been a huge way for me to kind of limit those ego-based thoughts, you know, the thoughts that come into my mind that aren't beneficial for me. And so those are the major differences between our mind and our intuition. If this video was hard to understand, the main difference between our mind and our intuition is that our mind is word-based. So if we hear words, right, then that's our mind communicating to us. You know, that's our mind telling us certain things. And just know that you don't have to listen to your mind. You know, sometimes it lies. You know, sometimes it says things that aren't true. Like, oh, I'm never going to be great. Or, oh, I shouldn't do this. Oh, I shouldn't do that. Right? Our intuition is feeling-based. So when we get a feeling, you'll know. You know what I mean? Your intuition will speak to you in feelings. You know what I mean? You will get a feeling and you will instantly know what to do. You know what I mean? Without it communicating with words at all. You know? You'll understand it. It'll be a feeling that you feel, but you know, you'll interpret it as words, you know what I mean? So you'll know exactly what to do. And so those are the main differences between our mind and our intuition. Thank you guys so much for tuning in to today's video. If you have any questions, comments, or concerns, feel free to let me know down in the comment section below. I really hope you guys enjoyed today's video. Thank you guys so much for tuning in today. I really have appreciated all of your support throughout these videos. They've been amazing. I am really happy to start posting videos again after being gone for like a month. And so I'm really happy that I get to connect with you guys So let me know how you guys are feeling as well down in the comment section as well. That being said, have a wonderful afternoon, morning, or night, wherever you're at. And peace, love, and happiness. Mwah.